अस्सलाम वालेकुम, अजहर खान कनेक्टिंग कम्युनिटीज विद अजहर खान में। और आज जो मेरा सीरीज ऑफ प्रोग्राम है जिसको आप लोग देखते हैं वो है यूथ टॉक। यूथ हर नेशन के लिए उस कौम का एक बहुत बड़ा असासा होते हैं। हमारी आजकल की ज़िंदगी में बाज़ दफ़ा हम देखते हैं कि जो इन्वायरमेंट है वो बहुत टॉक्सिक है। फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस हैं, कुछ लोग अपने प्रोजेक्ट अचीव नहीं कर पाते, कुछ लोग के साथ लाइफ में ट्रेजेडीज हो जाती हैं, कुछ लोग अपने आप को फेलियर को बहुत सीरियसली लेते हैं और उसके बाद मेंटल हेल्थ इश्यूज आ जाते हैं। मेंटल हेल्थ इश्यूज जब तक सीनियर्स में थे, लोगों में थे, कपल्स में थे, सही था, मगर आज की स्टडी के मुताबिक यूथ और यंग जनरेशन के अंदर भी मेंटल हेल्थ इश्यूज पाए जाते हैं। मेंटल हेल्थ इश्यूज बाज़ दफ़ा इतने सीरियस होते हैं कि वो एक बीमारी से बढ़ के आपके माइंड को डिस्टर्ब करते हैं। आपका माइंड आपकी बॉडी को कंट्रोल करता है, और जब वो मेंटल हेल्थ इश्यूज टॉक्सिक होके आपके माइंड पे अटैक करते हैं तो आप टेक्निकली फंक्शन नहीं कर पाते। फंक्शन अपनी फैमिली के लिए, फंक्शन अपनी कम्युनिटी के लिए, और सबसे बढ़ के अपने आप के लिए। हम इन टॉक्सिक चीज़ों से कैसे बच सकते हैं और कैसे अपने मेंटल हेल्थ इश्यूज को बेहतर बना सकते हैं। आज मेरे यूथ टॉक प्रोग्राम में एक इसी तरह की बहुत टैलेंटेड यंग राइटर जिन्होंने अपनी किताब लिखी है टॉक्सिक प्रोडक्टिविटी, और वो खुद एक मेंटल हेल्थ काउंसलर है। मेरे लिए बहुत खुशनसीबी की बात है कि आज न्यूज़ कनाडा के स्टूडियो में इसरा नासिर, जो कि मेंटल हेल्थ काउंसलर और एलपी हैं, यहाँ पे मौजूद है। वेलकम इसरा, वेलकम टू द शो। थैंक यू सो मच, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका आने का। इतनी यंग एज में इतनी गहरी बातें कैसे कर लेती हैं?
Well, I started, I guess, ये बातें जो हैं बहुत आप अगर बहुत रीडिंग करते हैं, I'm a therapist by training, तो 5 years तक तो मैंने लोगों के साथ one-on-one therapy में काम किया था यहाँ ब्रैम्पटन में, and I worked with a lot of young people as well as families. तो ये कुछ themes बार बार आ रही थी कि लोग बहुत परेशान हैं, लोग अपने emotions को manage नहीं कर पाते हैं, and अपने आप को बहुत busy कर लेते हैं, and जो important बातें हैं वो खुद एक दूसरे से करते नहीं हैं, and that eventually becomes mental health issues.
इसरा, हम डिटेल में आपके साथ आते हैं, मगर पहले जो हमारे यूथ आपको देख रहे हैं, हमारी जो ऑडियंस आपको देख रही है, कहाँ पैदा हुई, आप कहाँ पे रह रही हैं
जी,
और एजुकेशन क्या ली, इसके बारे में थोड़ा बताएं।
मेरी पैदाइश तो पाकिस्तान में है, कराची, and then I grew up in Saudi Arabia until I was 13, and then moved here to Toronto from grade 8 onwards. And मैंने psychology University of Toronto में पढ़ा था. I did my bachelor's there. And then I moved to New York to do my master's in mental health counseling. And then उसके बाद degree लेने के बाद मैं वापस आई. 5 years मैंने यहाँ Canadian Mental Health Association में काम किया as a therapist role. And then I moved to New York.
Very good. इसरा, आप माशाल्लाह आपकी जर्नी, you are working in the first world, you are working in the New York, always known by its publication, its fashion industry, and especially in finance, that it's always number one. And we are so proud being, a Pakistani origin. You have an amazing achievement. And tell me about that, how this idea come in your mind to write this book and like toxic productivity, reclaim your time and emotional and energy in a world that's always demand more. So tell me about your book. When you started this, like definitely it takes some time, but before you start writing, how this idea came in your mind?
So I worked with a lot of younger people in New York as a therapist, and बार बार सब लोग जो है it just happened to be the same issue no matter why they were coming into therapy. A lot of young people feel a lot of pressure right now to excel, to do really well in school. बहुत pressure होता है कि आपको successful होना है. And while that's important, जो बात therapy में बार-बार आ रही थी, that they were very unhappy. बहुत सारे लोग, they're getting the degrees, they're getting the job, but they're still feeling unhappy. And ये क्यों हो रहा है? आप जब लोगों से पूछे, most people say, I'm really busy, I'm really busy, I'm really busy. Tensions बहुत high hai. And so when I was working with people, this theme kept coming up. Okay, I'm too busy to pay attention to my emotions. And I feel a lot of shame. मैं अपने आप को दूसरे लोगों से बहुत compare करती हूँ. या मुझे बार-बार लगता है कि दूसरे लोग जिंदगी में आगे जा रहे हैं और मैं पीछे रह जा रही हूँ, right? These were the kind of themes that were coming up in my work. And so that's when I started thinking about this idea कि जो हमारे unresolved emotions होते हैं, shame, guilt, perfectionism, fear of being not good enough, ये कैसे छुप के they push us to do unhealthy habits like toxic productivity. Yeah.
Israa, you belongs to a new generation. I think once you was in school and college and university, that is the era when Google is coming, Microsoft is coming, Instagram, now TikTok is very famous. How you think that a social media and the luxury life, what people portray in their social media, that, oh, I'm living, I have this expensive car and I have this luxury shoes and luxury home and then all the luxury goods. How, compared to my generation when we have no internet and no Google and no cell phone, how challenges to our youth to, when they go to college or university, to tackle this inferiority complex type of situation that, oh my gosh, he have a G-Wagon, he have a Lexus GX 550, or he have this, and I'm coming in a bus in a university. And his Instagram have 1, 2, 3 million followers. He's living an ideal life, and I'm just nothing.
Yeah.
How much that pressure is impacting our youth in today's society?
Yeah, the pressure is very high from social media, and social media की बहुत अच्छी चीजें भी हैं, right? Like we get to share, we get to learn. आप अपने cousins से connected रह सकते हैं. You can learn about what's going on in each other's lives. मगर उसका downside भी ये होता है कि you compare yourself a lot to other people. And पहले, in your generation, like you said, जो आपके इर्द-गिर्द लोग थे, आप उनसे compare करते थे.
Yeah.
Now I can open my Instagram and compare myself to somebody who's living in New Zealand, right? And so वो pool बहुत बड़ा हो गया है, who we're comparing to. So while social media is both good and bad, the responsibility is on the person who is using it. So we need to have good boundaries about using social media. तो आप अपने social media पे lock लगा सकते हैं, that you don't spend too much time there. You can unfollow accounts that are making you feel bad. That's something I used to do with my young clients.
Okay.
हम therapy session में बैठ के, they would pull out their phone and we would go through the people they're following to see कि किसकी content देख के आपको बुरा लगता है and किसके content देख के आपको अच्छा लगता है. You feel inspired.
तो कैसे अगर कोई बच्चा जो is 16, 17, he's in the teenager, right, under 18, as a mental health counselor, कितना impact पड़ता है, like he have his college, he have his grade, he have his university, ये जो toxic is positive too, but in a toxic way, how it impacts in his brain. To achieve his basic goal, to finish his university and his other tasks too.
At the basic level, अगर आप बहुत ज़्यादा social media इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं, तो आपका attention span कम हो जाता है, right? And in order to do deep studying and memorizing आप school में है for tests and stuff, you need to be able to have a longer attention span, right? So I'll just say one thing. It's not कि हम social media इस्तेमाल ना करें. For younger kids, especially kids in high school or even undergrad, under 25, आप offline दूसरी चीजें करें, like read actual books instead of just online. Do a craft, a hobby, a sport, musical instrument. कोई ऐसी चीज होनी चाहिए लाइफ में जो आप फोन पे नहीं कर रहे हैं, and that will help you with your attention span.
यूथ का कितनी परसेंटेज आजकल आपकी स्टडी के मुताबिक, हाउ मेनी यूथ इज इन्वॉल्व, व्हाट आर द बेसिक टॉक्सिक things in our current society? What are the major, some of the toxic things which those who are watching you, they can prevent from, like the parents or guardian can prevent their kids from any toxic attack? What are the toxic basically things are in our today's society?
It's a बहुत बड़ा question है. But I will say, I think instead of thinking about it in that way कि हम क्या prevent करें as parents, it's actually better to think about what can I add to my child's life that will improve them. क्योंकि अगर आप बार-बार चीजें लेते रहेंगे, if you keep trying to remove things, it gets very hard because you know society is bigger than you as a parent. So as a parent, I'll say if you want to have kids who are successful and balanced, there's a few things you can do that are in your control that can be very beneficial for young children. First is make sure कि आपके घर का माहौल ऐसा हो जिसमें आप भी रीडिंग कर रहे हैं, आपके बच्चे भी रीडिंग कर रहे हैं. रीडिंग करना बहुत लाजमी होता है because it helps expand your attention span. It gives you vocabulary, it improves your critical thinking and communication. ये सब रीडिंग की बुनियाद से होता है. तो बच्चे वही करेंगे जो आपके पेरेंट्स करते हैं, right? So that's one thing to add. And I think another is, at least I'll talk about our community. I think it's really important for parents to take an interest in their children's lives. आप अपने बच्चों के दोस्तों का नाम जानें, learn about them, remember them. That way you can know your kids outside of what you want them to be. And I think that can give children a lot of confidence when they are presented with these toxic things in the world. आप दुनिया तो नहीं बदल सकते, मगर you can make your kids more confident, right?
आपकी बुक मैंने पढ़ा कि वो यूएस लाइब्रेरी ऑफ कांग्रेस में है. I personally feel so proud, and our all the viewers who's watching you locally, internationally, very proud. How it happened that your book go to the Congress Library, and how you feel about it?
Yeah. I feel very good, and it's pretty amazing. But it happened because जब आप US में कोई भी चीज publish करें, you know, like professionally, like a book or a paper, तो आपको वहाँ register करना पड़ता है ताकि कोई और आपकी pages को लेके copy ना कर सके. So
how is that process? And how you approach them or they approach you? How it happened?
Yeah, so you have to submit it. So once the book was published, you have to submit it, and it's like an application, and then they approve it, and then they put it there.
Okay. कितना अरसा लगा? How much time it take to write this book, basically?
It took me about 1.5 years, and I did 3 full drafts. So start to finish, 3 dafa likha tha, totally different versions with an editor. So it was really fun. I really enjoyed it.
And before, I know it took 1.5 years, but before start, since how long in your resolution or in your mind you was planning that I will write this book?
You know, I really wasn't planning on writing a psychology book. मुझे कहानियाँ लिखने का ज़्यादा शौक है. But I write a lot of mental health education and content on Instagram, and I write essays on my blog. So this book came out of one of my essays. Yeah.
So everyone have a hero in their life, right? Inspiration, right? Rather it's sports. Who is your inspiration to motivate you? You know, sometime you open a book and start reading. Sometime you are very down. Sometimes somebody, piss you off, right? You know, that you're going, somebody honk you, somebody. Who is your inspiration to accomplish this task?
Well, I think that, at the risk of sounding like a cliche, I do feel very motivated by my parents. I think my parents have a very interesting journey. They've gone through many difficult things and still managed to be very good people, and be successful in the things they do. So I try to remember that as a way to ground myself. Okay, my life is not as hard as theirs. And they were able to kind of push through, be resilient, be creative, and still have good morals. And I think that's really important to me as I grow older. So I do feel a lot of inspiration from them.
So before we go to break, a question came from this. When as a child, and it's for all the children who seeing, because my generation very resilience, we move with the technology, we migrated abroad, from here, some people Middle East and here, so it's a lot of migrations, and migrations are not very easy to move to the new country. When you was a little kid and when you was very young and you're looking your parents there, and let's say you are 4 or 5 or 7, and you seeing the struggling life of your parents. Being a child, you can't do anything, but you are seeing their struggles, resilience, perseverance, and how you was thinking that one day when I become like, I achieve my goal, is in this book their hardship in your mind, like when they, like for example, any story or any struggle, how you feel accomplished that, okay, as you said, your life is little privilege, and every parent's wish and prayer that when the line where they finish, his daughter or son start from there, become better and better and better, right? Generation by. Can you tell something about it, like how you're, like when you see this struggle of your parents and you say one day, I give them like chocolates or some sweets or make them happy?
I don't know if I thought about that as a young child, because when we're younger, our brains are not that developed. So a child will not have the same kind of empathy as an adult who is the parent, right? So ye baatein mujhe zyada after I turned like 28, 29, that's when I really felt that, outside of just doing well in school, I wanted to raise their expectation of me. As long as I was in school, as everybody knows, the way to make your parents happy is to excel in school. So that's important. And I think that if you, can do that, then a lot of doors can open for you. But outside of that, there's a little bit of their stories in this book too, about the things I learned from them, just by learning about their life story. So that's one thing I'll say to the younger people who are watching. Be a little bit more interested and curious about your parents' history. हम अपने पेरेंट्स से बात करते हैं तो वो हमसे तंबी कर रहे होते हैं, ये नहीं करो, वो नहीं करो, तो इसी में बात फंस जाती है. But our parents have more complicated lives. उनकी histories है. And if we as children can ask questions and learn their story, we can actually learn a lot that can help us in our life.
हमारा जो कल्चर है, पाकिस्तानी कल्चर, wherever we go, definitely our ethnic background move with us. मैंने देखा है कि when we look other communities, sometimes we as a father especially become so tough. Maybe the outside world make us so tough. How important it is for a child to hug your parents, and sometimes he's shy, but when you hug or when you love your parents, how emotionally it make the bond better and strong.
I think it's really important to show affection to your children in the home. And आप सही कह रहे हैं, कभी-कभार हमारी culture में ये इतना नहीं होता, right? Especially father and son. मगर ये बहुत important है because it teaches the kid that they have a safe place. And जब आपकी बुनियाद safe है तो आप दुनिया में कुछ भी कर लें, you don't feel afraid because you know you have your parents that who will always accept and give you affection. It's not just कि I have parents who will give me food and shelter. वो तो important चीजें होती हैं. मगर वो inner confidence के लिए having affectionate parents gives children the freedom to go and try new things. So it's very important.
मेंटल हेल्थ के पर्सपेक्टिव से बहुत सारे ऐसे पेरेंट्स हैं जो अपने ऑफिस में लॉन्ग आवर्स में थक के घर पे आते हैं, बच्चे सो चुके होते हैं, सुबह बच्चे स्कूल चले जाते हैं और हम भूल जाते हैं और बच्चे बड़े हो जाते हैं और वो गैप जो है वो बढ़ जाता है. यू ऑल्सो मेंटल हेल्थ काउंसलर, हमारी जो ऑडियंस आपको देख रही है, कितना ज़रूरी है टाइम अपनी फैमिली और बच्चों के साथ गुजारना और इसका आपका मेंटल हेल्थ पे क्या इम्पैक्ट है?
Yeah, I mean it's very important, but आपने सही कहा है कि reality में, especially अगर आप immigrate करके आ रहे हैं, आप शुरू में start कर रहे हैं, it is very hard because you're working, maybe both parents are working different schedules, तो मुश्किल हो जाता है. So it's important to at least, even if you have a very busy schedule, at least once a week to do something as a family together that involves everyone, not just what you want to do as a parent. Yeah, आप सिर्फ TV देख रहे हैं बैठ के, but something that is a little bit more active that you can do together. And बच्चों को बताना भी बहुत important होता है कि why am I busy? It's not because I don't love you. It's because of all of these reasons.
नाजरीन, इसरा के साथ हमारी बातें कंटिन्यू रहेंगी. आप सुन रहे हैं कि कितने ज़बरदस्त टॉपिक है और मेरे ख्याल से ये हर घर का और हर फैमिली का टॉपिक है. तो स्टे ट्यून, वी विल बी राइट बैक. वेलकम बैक टू यू टॉक विद इसरा नासिर. इसरा, टेल मी समथिंग अबाउट योर बुक, दैट हाउ after it published, how is the feedback about and how people call you and let you know about your efforts?
Yeah, the feedback has been good. It's been about a year and I have gone to at least 20 corporate companies to talk about this book.
And can you tell what are the companies?
Some of the highlights are I recently spoke at Google and we did like a really wonderful 1 hour keynote. I spoke 3 times at Microsoft, once at Bank of America, Pepsi, Cisco. And essentially it's about, how can we have a healthy workforce? How can people show up and do work in a healthy way instead of burning out? So that's been really good. And then, I went on a couple of news channels, NBC, CBS in New York. And I did a book tour with 8 cities across the US and then Toronto as well. Yeah.
So what the most exciting part, those who want to read this book, like any story or anything short you can share about your book?
Yeah, so the book has 6 things that it's going deeply into from a mental health perspective. So perfectionism, अगर आपको perfectionism से बहुत struggle होता है, or shame, guilt, and then it talks about rest and rejuvenation. But I think the thing that people have said that they like the most, कि इसमें exercises हैं बहुत सारी. तो अगर आपको perfectionism अपना थोड़ा सा solve करना है, the chapter has reflection, exercises. It's kind of like a workbook. So you can actually make changes in your life. ये नहीं कि आप सिर्फ read कर रहे हैं फिर किताब रख के भूल गए. It's a way to really help you make changes.
It's intuitive, right? You can. It's like a workbook that you can make things better. Or in Japanese we are saying kaizen.
Okay.
I'm a kaizen coach. I worked for Toyota Motor Corporation many years.
Yeah.
So kaizen means continuous improvement. So this book is not just to read 1 time, 2 time, but you can keep in your library and you keep continuously improving yourself.
Yeah.
So Isra, I have one request. If you can please autograph for this book.
Yes.
But before that, I just want to show my cameraman to take a picture of this book, please. Okay. And I appreciate if you please.
Of course.
This is honor for me and this is honor for all our audience, AAJ News Canada. And
thank you for having me.
thank you.
And ultimately, it's
if you put the date,
oh yeah,
because it's I know 2025 is going, but it's a new new resolution for me for 2026.
That's true. Yeah,
thank
you can take it to 2026.
Yeah. Thank you, Israa. Thank you to come to our studio. Thank you talk about your journey. Thank you talk about your book. So I'm also a youth leadership program chair for Toastmasters International, and many people, our youth watching you, I appreciate if you give them some healthy message for their mental health. How can they prosper? How can they? Sometime not perfectionist.
Yeah.
But if you achieve something, that's better. So your message for our audience and youth.
Yeah, I think for young people today, I would say it's a very noisy world. It's a very busy world. You have a lot of distractions. So it's very important that you are able at least once a day to sit just with yourself. No phone, no TV, no distractions, and sit at least for 15 minutes to just reflect on what is important to you, what you want, and what are the areas of your life that you can improve. I think आजकल के ज़माने में हम कभी अकेले नहीं होते.
जी.
And that's not very healthy. अगर हम अकेले भी होते हैं, हमारे phones होते हैं, हम लोगों से बात कर रहे होते हैं, or we're watching something on TikTok. But it's really important that we spend some time alone daily, so your mind can actually process and imagine a better future for yourself. And I think it's so amazing that you do this show. I think it's really important to inspire young people and show them that, there's more that is possible for everybody. And we can't know it if we don't see it, we don't share it.
Seeing is believing.
Exactly, yeah.
Thank you, Israa. Thank you to come to Youth Talk, AAJ News Canada. नाजरीन, आपने देखा कि कैसे इसरा ने अपनी जर्नी को स्टार्ट किया. टॉक्सिक प्रोडक्टिविटी, जिसके अंदर reclaim your time, emotional energy in a world that always demand more. बहुत जगहों पे हम बहुत कुछ अचीव कर रहे होते हैं, मगर हम आपको अंडररेट कर देते हैं. इसरा से आज हमने सीखा कि कैसे हम लाइफ को सिंपल कर सकते हैं. अपने मैसेज में इसरा ने हमें बताया कि कभी कभी बग़ैर टेलीविज़न के, बग़ैर फ़ोन के, बग़ैर किसी सोशल मीडिया के, सिर्फ बैठ के अगर आप अपने गार्डन में बर्ड्स को देखें कि वो रोज़ाना निकलते हैं, रोज़ाना ऊपर अल्लाह ताला उनको फूड देता है, मगर उनकी लाइफ बहुत सिंपल होती है. कभी कभी हम एनिमल से, कभी कभी हम अपने एनवायरनमेंट से, नेचर से बहुत कुछ सीखते हैं. अगर हम वॉक पे जाएं, अगर हम अपने आप को एक अच्छी किताब जैसे ये किताब है, अपने आप को नेचर से जोड़ें, चीज़ों को सिंपल करें. अल्लाह ताला ने हर इंसान को बेहतरीन बनाया है. जब हम दूसरों से अपने आप को कंपेयर करने लगते हैं और इन्फीरियरिटी कॉम्प्लेक्स का शिकार हो जाते हैं और अपनी से ज़्यादा कोशिश करते हैं टू शो इट बेटर, फिर हम अपने आप को भूल जाते हैं. वी लॉस्ट आवरसेल्फ. वी ऑल आर अमेजिंग, वी ऑल आर यूनिक. और जब इसरा जैसी राइटर्स, जो कि खुद एक यूथ हैं, जो खुद यंग जनरेशन से हैं, ऐसी किताब लिखती हैं, तो हमें ऐसा लगता है कि एक फ्लावर, एक फूल नया आया है सोसाइटी में, जो कि एक हेल्दी एनवायरनमेंट चाहता है. तो अपने बच्चों से दोस्ती करें, उनको क्वालिटी टाइम दें, क्योंकि काम तो कभी ख़त्म नहीं होता. और कोशिश करें कि हंसें, छोटी छोटी चीज़ों में अपनी खुशियाँ देखें और खुशियाँ बांटें. एक बार फिर बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया इसरा, यू कम टू माई स्टूडियो, and I hope this is not the last visit, because there is a lot to talk and share about it. I would like to say thank you, Israa, and thank you to my viewers. And if you not still buy this book, this is not just a book, this is the resolution, this is the workbook. This book can make your life better. खुश रहें, खुशियां बांटें. अजहर खान, आज न्यूज़ कनाडा, टोरंटो, Canada.